No, I want to.
All right, welcome to the regular meeting, city council meeting, Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. May we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Costa Junior,
Here.
Councilmember Willis, Councilmember Hernandez, Councilmember Burnett.
Here.
Mayor Julian.
Here. One. Please stand, looking for the pledge of allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda review of the next item. Is there a council person or staff who wishes to change the order of business?
I don't.
Hands raised, so we're good, thank you. Item 5 is community participation. I see no one out in the audience.
I would like to do, a moment of condolence. Or
Did we pass that already? Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. A moment of thanks, appreciation, and condolence. So go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to take a moment to remember Leyva Elizabeth Odegan, a cherished mother of our community who tragically lost her life a year ago in July. Leyva was a loving mother of 2 daughters, and her loss is deeply felt by all who knew her. As we honor her memory, I ask for a moment of silence to reflect on this heartbreaking tragedy and stand together as a community in saying not one more. We must work together, ensuring that no family endures such a devastating loss. Thank you.
So we've got a moment of silence for Ms. Leyva. Okay, thank you. Any further appreciation, notice, or condolences? All right, we'll go to item 4, agenda review. No, I didn't see any hands raised. So next item is community participation. I see see no letters to let or request to speak. Let's go to item 6, consent calendar. The following items presented to city council approval without discussion, single agenda item. So a council member that wishes to pull an item A, B, C, or D for further discussion. Has there been any public requests to pull an item? No. Is there a motion to approve a consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion and second. Any discussion on any of these items or the item? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Management report.
Yes.
City administrator.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, staff. I just wanted to go through the list really quick. The joint city school board meeting, at the last meeting, council looked to August 20th. And talking with Dr. Handel, I've not heard back whether they can make it or not, and we're getting pushed to the time frame where if I don't hear anything, it's Thursdays are kind of cut off for that. So I'm just curious, haven't heard anything from the school board, whether they want to meet or not.
What I would recommend, if we don't hear from Dr. Handel, is for staff, for you, Chief Cash, superintendent, and the 2 principals to actually meet here to discuss any item that may be under any spur under the saddle. So we can bring that to us, and maybe bypass a board meeting, a joint board meeting. And if it requires a joint board meeting, we can do so. So if there's some pressing issue with your discussion, then we can go forward with it.
And I did discover on August 20th is their normally scheduled recreation and Parks Commission meeting anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that Councilman Costa was concerned about that. Any comments?
For, joint meeting?
For joint meeting.
Well, I know one board member is out. So if we need to push it to September, that's fine, we just gotta get something going. And I don't wanna overlap on anything that we have, well, but I would like to be with the board on this, so they can give directive to the superintendent on which they wanna go with.
Well, I would recommend, again, we can still get to that point, but I would recommend, like I mentioned, yourself, chief. The school superintendent and the
Two
two
principals,
principals to see what's going on and then move it forward.
okay,
Or upward, whatever direction we need to go.
sound good, chief, we'll get on that, okay,
So just communicate with the board. With the
okay,
board with Handel and then take it from there.
sounds
So
good,
if we can't resolve it at the committee level, then bring it back for joint meeting.
okay, sounds good, another item here, that Waste Management is planning to hold a cleanup on Saturday, October 12th, but they're waiting for confirmation from Mackenzie Junior High School to ensure that they can use their parking lot again this year, so it's tentatively October 12th. Also, the city actively still looking for grants for the Royal Theater. I think this is still gonna happen August 17th at 10 AM. 11:30 AM, Assemblymember Greg Hart is holding his historic sidewalk meetings. The RFP for the operator for the Royal Theater is on the street tomorrow. I'll be on the street for 30 days. Looking for the visual and performing arts operator for that. A bid package is gonna be going out pretty soon for the Royal Theater as well. They're looking at a new redesign. I don't know if council's aware of that, the idea of instead of 3-story, it's potentially could save an additional $1.5 million or 1.4 million, I believe. Quarterly home sales, are you interested in any discussion on that?
Well, that's why
Yeah.
people wanna come here.
Yeah, exactly. There's been some discussion, there's some exhibit in there on the bridge replacement design. I just threw that in there for you. I know that the GB had met on a lot of the different projects in town and didn't have a really good turnout. We're looking at, Emily Dreeling is working on another grant in conjunction with Denise. It's called a youth community access grant for them to do a number of different activities. And I'm sure, Denise had mentioned or talk more about that. There's a grant memo that I sent out to everybody from Townsend Public Affairs, so if there's anything that strikes you or of interest, I can reach out to her and we can pursue other grant opportunities. Chief, I give them to him as well. Best local routes update, now it's September that they're saying they're gonna be opening up, so. I think you'll get there, but I hope not a month from now, they're gonna say October or something like that, or at this point. Yeah, exactly. Would you like me to go over any of Jeff's projects? For engineering projects?
He mentioned. Meeting with, I think that he mentioned that with the local, with the council, that meeting that they had last Monday, it wasn't very well attended.
No,
With, is there a note from him on that? And,
he actually wasn't at that meeting.
no, he wasn't, but
Yeah.
on the actual street, replacement thing, I know some of the business people are concerned that it's going to, disrupt their businesses, but progress does that, when you're gonna make improvements, the bulb outs.
Yeah.
I know that there's quite a bit of discussion on what's going on, so.
And there is compensation agreements that Caltrans puts together, and also I can't imagine that they're not gonna plan for allowing, patrons to, get to the businesses, so they'll plan for that, probably do one side of the street and kind of work crossings out, so oh, really? Okay. I guess the chief was there and talked to him about that a little bit. Did you want to add to it?
If that's okay, I met with the group this afternoon with Mike and a few business owners. They talked about as far as they would disturb the sidewalk. And the business owners, they were more concerned with access during that time. What Caltrans said is that we could set up temporary traffic control measures. But they said that their biggest issue, and Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, was as far as the easement. It goes pretty much right up to the business. And they were worried because a lot of the utilities are right up underneath the sidewalk. And so that was their main concern. Caltrans, they gave me their cards and they said that there was a PowerPoint that they would share with me. They haven't sent it to me yet, but as soon as I get that, I'll send it to you. I think I sent an email today to everyone here about that meeting. So I'm waiting for them to get back to me.
There was discussion before on the stop sign, did that there on 10th Street, 9th Street, did that ever, was that discussed in your conversation?
That was not part of theirs, their discussion. They talked about having a light at 11 and Guadalupe. And they talked about the light at Main and Guadalupe. And so my concern was, and Mike also, well, all this is gonna do is stop traffic for a while and then they'll speed down the rest of Guadalupe.
Right.
So I was asking for more traffic control measures from 11th all the way down to Main Street. So I was asking for stop signs, but they said that's not their
Correct.
department. But I also stepped out in the street, showed them that the double yellow line hasn't been repainted in years. And it's fading and that's causing a lot of problems. And then Michael also, we both pointed out the bike lane. You can't see it. It's also faded out. But they stated that that's not part of their project. So I asked them, can they give me who I need to contact? So I think that's one of the biggest issues is who to talk to. And then they also admitted, yes, we can have a conversation with someone for 3 or 4 months, but then they move on. And that's how things keep falling through the cracks. So I'm trying to stay on top of that. And I offered that through the email with Todd that we'd both be their contact, and also our Jeff would also do it. So I'm waiting for an email back from them.
Gosh, as I look at this list of projects, it's just interesting. I would like to say that the Amtrak Improvement Transit Hub RFP for design is gonna be going out, and that'll be coming back to the city council, which could include public restrooms, electrical vehicle charging infrastructure, bicycle amenities, impervious pavers, improved signage, and site beautification. That's gonna be amazing. And then Central Park renovation project, construction is anticipated for Central Park to begin summer of 2025. Leroy Park, we're just waiting from USDA for a funding approval, and that should happen. Something will come forward to the city council in September for approval. There's some lift station projects, the 303 Business Street site improvements. There's just a lot going on, a lot of nice projects, city hall improvements. 2025, sometime anticipate some work there as it relates to the roof and the walls. Just a number of different amazing projects that I'm really proud of, and we're gonna keep pursuing even other opportunities as time goes forward.
I mentioned the report on the boost that's over there and that needs to go. To me,
Yeah,
because you can't see anything.
yeah, it's not
Right.
planned to stay there. It's planned to be moved
Okay.
somewhere. I don't know where, but
Chief can use it in the back of it. It's first faucet.
the steel alone's got huge value.
The other concern I had with the tank in that Verizon is unwilling to move on what they're supposed to be doing, so it just seems like, why are we held up by?
Philip and I and Jeff have talked about that. Maybe that's a good one on the tank, for Verizon. We think we have a workaround on that, correct?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we don't
Yeah.
delay that project. Okay, anything else?
That ends my report. Thank you.
There is I don't know if it's back there on the other side of that wall, but there was a rendition of the new revised Royal Theater. I brought it in here, I don't know. If it's
I got
still in.
Okay.
What has happened is that there's still a lot of movement regarding the money side of things. that's required by, the EDA to actually submit the current proposal, which is probably $2.5 million more than what's there. And by designing that, as you see, and that's not off the, and that's really so. But instead of a 3-story back building, what happened, you eliminate elevator, which is probably 500,000 just for the elevator. That lower building is, if you're looking from the theater side, you're looking going east, that takes the place of that, not the gazebo, but the amphitheater. Yeah. So you could still, I think it's a couple thousand square foot, that white building. On the top, you can barely see that, it's a slanted roof. Way up,
Parapet.
yeah. Behind that is all the HVAC system. So you hide that. Same in the back, as well as in the back, because the picture on the right is from the back looking toward, looking west. And the picture on the left is looking east. You can actually go through that building where you see the walkway.
Yeah.
You can shut off the Royal Theater side of things. If people wanted to use that building to do their work, on the performing arts side, they could still use that building and do their thing. So not losing any functionality,
Right,
but you're eliminating the,
cost.
the cost. And another report, again, this is all fluid. There's another, this will cost perhaps almost $2 million, $1.5 million less
Yes,
than that. So there's still a move on fundraising. There's still, they're sitting everybody, we are trying to get the resource there. So things are looking better. And I think that this is, a lot of people were complaining about the 3-story, the 3-story job. This kind of fits more into the landscape of Guadalupe.
and this new plan has to be presented to the EDA and they have to, sign off on it, so that'll take a few months.
Yeah.
But in order for us to continue with the grant, and they have to buy into it.
But there's movement. So. All right, anything else? Thanks.
So that ends my report.
I know that's, yeah, yes, that's Patria. So if next council meeting, if we can get an update, if council members and staff will be participating.
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
It's automatic. They'll be driving the.
It's like this, we'll be able to get that information, I think, last time. I just showed up and was like, it would be nice if we have some information, and that way, if we are invited, we can know in advance.
And for.
Correct. Any questions? Todd? All right, Director of Public Safety,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council.
So,
side joke.
There's my report, just the highlights on the report. I'm sure everyone's aware of the fatality that we had 500 Guadalupe. Gentleman possibly had a heart attack and drove into a pole. And then also through the direction of city attorney, staff will be talking about the implementation of our public safety impact fees on that ordinance. So I appreciate his input and direction on that. We had a mutual aid with our fire department strike team went out to close to Chino, and they came back Sunday. Thank goodness, and everyone was safe. I had a great meeting with our assembly person, Mr. Hart, and a district rep for State Senator Miss Limon, talking about moving supplies to Guadalupe for emergency preparedness as far as stationing supplies prior to incidents instead of waiting and asking for supplies during or after an incident. So I think that was a good meeting, and I've had another email for hopefully for a follow-up later on. Through my community or committee meetings, you can see the one that really stuck out was with the probation department. In their community corrections realignment planning work group, We discussed the lack of Mesteco interpreters at the jail and probation department for offenders and victims, and moving funds that way. And also for any new agencies, they're gonna be requesting criminal justice funds. They'll have to submit a racial equality assessment tool for any consideration funding. Those, I think, are very good milestones that should have been in place prior. And then you can see where the Santa Barbara Police Chiefs and Sheriff's Association discussed about Proposition 1. That'll deal with proposing $3.3 billion of general obligation bonds to fund more behavioral health treatment in residential facilities, and also supporting housing for veterans and individuals at risk of experiencing homelessness with behavioral health challenges. So those are some things that really kind of stuck out during the last month. That's my report, unless there's questions.
Any questions, of Chief?
I got a question. Can we have more information on the special project where there's block cameras? Is that for Guadalupe or is that just in general?
That's really gonna be for Guadalupe. We're looking at some kind of implementation of cameras. Vandalism is a big problem that we do have here. The city jail, for one, has been hit numerous times, and I know we're working on getting Central Park and eventually cameras there. But in the meantime, a lot of that is still costing us money and resources and personnel. So we're looking at expanding some of our cameras. I had some on Guadalupe Street, and that was the only time that Caltrans contacted me first to complain and said to remove them. So at least they were proactive that way.
Why do they care?
It's a good thing. I really wish they knew.
I think one Caltrans person lived here.
So I don't know even how we saw it. We thought we had it
Maybe he
pretty well put away.
snitched on us.
But so we're looking at, we have some in the parks. So we have some mobile cameras that at least we have one right now. And we're just evaluating other locations that seem to have more and more activity to be able to do something like that.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot something in my report that I thought, I mean, I know it'd be near and dear to your heart. Is the California Environmental Protection Agency Air Resources Board. Basically, we've got a certificate of reporting compliance for off-road diesel vehicle regulations. I'll pass it around. Just, you know, we got a certificate, so I have to throw it out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chief, I know that you mentioned for the Christmas where the firefighters go around and they pass out candy, that we are in need of candy. Is that correct?
Well, every year we're in need of candy.
People just donate to the association.
To the association, yeah.
Not to the city.
Yes, we make sure that they're separate. They'll come to the department, my department, and then we'll direct them to the association so that we're not directly involved.
Okay, and so there's like a nonprofit under that, or is it just?
Yes. No, the association has a nonprofit.
Okay, so somebody would want to donate, you know, right on.
Yes, contact my office and we'll set things up.
Any further questions, Chief?
I got one more.
Sorry.
So the flag dedication for the Guadalupe, it's at the Guadalupe Veterans Memorial Park, September 21st, 2024. Opening ceremony, 10 a.m. Pass it on. I think you guys all received this. I thought I did.
No questions of
That's it.
Todd? Not. We go to recreation service manager. Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before I get started with my events that are coming up in August and September, I was wondering if I could just have a minute to go over the color run and another event that happened prior.
Please.
I'm gonna start with the color run event. That was at the end of July. I did go ahead and pass around a flyer that shows that we had spread in the Santa Maria Times. We had Randy De La Pena, which I want to thank for coming out to our color run, and taking some really awesome pictures and, writing an article. I have flyers if you want to see that, or if anybody else wants to see it. We had 169 runners that day. We had 50 to 75 supporters, family, friends that just came out to cheer everyone on. It was extremely successful event. Everyone was having a good time. And I was asked over and over again if we're gonna do it again and continue it. So, I felt like that was some awesome feedback. I would like to go through and give out some thanks, because it's really, really big project and a really big event, and it takes a whole group of people to put it on. I want to thank Christina, right here on our city council, and her family for coming out and helping. I want to thank Whitney as well on our city council for coming out and helping, Joe Harris. And then, both of my kids, they were out there at 7 o'clock in the morning flagging the field. I want to thank city maintenance, Eddie and Johnny, for putting in a lot of time helping me get that field ready. I want to help, give a thank you to Josue that came out and he was talking people up. I really needed one more volunteer and he came to the rescue. I want to thank the recreation staff, Angie, our building attendant, and Esther, our facilities coordinator. She even came out on her day off, to just make sure that everything went well. I'd like to thank all the runners and their families. Like I said, media, our Randy De La Pena for the spread in San Maria Times and just giving Guadalupe some love. And lastly, I want to make sure I thank all our sponsors because they really helped make it happen. Cali the Bear Clothing provided all the food from America's 805 hot dogs. Sylvester's Screen Printing and Embroidery, they helped give us quite a discount on the shirts to make them as inexpensive as possible. Taylor Farms sponsored our Coast photo booth, selfie booth station. And I want to thank them as well because they did give us a special rate as a community event. And Guadalupe Hardware sponsored all the tapes, stakes, and flagging that we needed to put on that event. So if you were out there, you know how many flags we use. I used over 400 of those little plastic flags and something like 50 stakes. And I think it was about 15 rolls of 250 feet of tape. It was a big project, but I want to thank everyone. I appreciate everyone's support and hopefully we can continue that. Moving on, we did have our line dancing class last night. It was instructed by Yolanda and we had a total of 41 participants come out and dance. And we had probably about 10 to 15 supporters just cheering everyone on. Some people were just dancing from their chair, you know. We had children as young as 14 there and they were boys, which I was really surprised, but I was really excited. And all the way up to senior citizens. So it was awesome to see everyone out there. They were all doing their best. If they had to take a break, they did, but they just kept going. And it was an hour and a half of a lot of fun. I have, since last night, received tons of comments, tons of messages, everyone asking for another class. We will be having another class Monday, the 26th at 6:30 in the auditorium once again. And we're gonna kind of play it by ear because I'm just waiting on the school district to give me their schedule for sports before we move forward. So that's all for my prior events. Moving on to August. We have our drop-in volleyball and basketball as usual in the auditorium. Thank you to Joe Harris for always being there for the kids and putting that on. We have poetry jam at the Vets Hall on August 23rd, 6:30 to 8. We have another skate day event, which was requested quite a lot after our first one. That's gonna be August 24th from 12 to 2. It's at Jack O'Connell basketball courts once again. And we're gonna do a two-part. For this one, there's going to be instructed classes from 12 to 1, and you do have to register ahead of time. We currently have 16 people registered for the classes. The skates are free, the instruction is free, all you gotta do is show up and have a good time. From 1 to 2, anybody that already knows how to skate or people that had just learned or are bettering their skills, we're gonna have free skate, we're gonna have music out there, we're gonna have a vendor with some food and some drinks, so it'll be a good time. And last but not least, we have our August movie night, that's on the 30th at 6 p.m. at Leroy Park. that is inside of the building, and the Guadalupe Cheer, I invited them to put on the snack stand as a fundraiser, so they will be doing that. And they'll also be putting on an awesome cheer performance right before the movie. It's about 15-minute performance, show everyone what they got as their season starts. So I'd love to see all of you out there. If anybody needs information, it's on our city website under the Recreation Department. It's on our Instagram page, which is Guadalupe Rec, and it's on our Facebook page, which is Guadalupe Recreation and Parks. Thank you so much.
What's this, goal party? Is that
Oh,
connected?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Saturday, September's right around the corner as well. This is, something that I was able to just finish, last night. We have a glow party, the 14th of September, Saturday. I have a dance company coming in. They're going to be teaching dance to children, kind of a hip hop pop style. We're kind of looking at ages 5 through 16. That's kind of the idea. Of course, parents can come with them. And there's gonna be a dance lesson from 1 to 2, and from 2 to 3 is the dance party. Everything's gonna be glow in the dark, so you wear neon, we're gonna have black lights. And we're gonna have light refreshments, kind of bouncing back and forth in between an ice cream bar and maybe some other fun dessert that would kind of go along with the glow in the dark theme.
I assume that's in the auditorium.
That is in the auditorium, yeah.
Cool. Very good. Any questions, Denise?
I just want to say thank you, Elaine, for thinking outside of the box. As you can see from our color run, our community craving the outdoors, the craving community, they want to be outdoors. So thank you for thinking outside the box and helping us with our community together.
So it's my pleasure.
Thank you. All right, where are we? Item 10, employment of Ms. Villegas.
I'll just tee it off, but basically tonight is the request is for the council to adopt resolution number 2024-53, retroactively approving the employment of Amelia Villegas, a retired annuitant, as interim HR manager. And I'm just gonna give it to Amelia. We talked about it because she has so much history and background that she'd be much more adept to be able to describe this.
Okay. This is a very unique situation, and I will say that it probably will never happen to again, but I'll try to summarize what it is. Started different, simply I retired with CalPERS and pension and all that type of thing. And that occurred back in October 2019. And I recently came back as a retired annuitant to fill the vacancy for human resources manager. There's a procedure that CalPERS requires for our retired annuitant to come back and work. And one of them involves a resolution in compliance with various government codes. Before I was able to return in early October, a resolution was put through council, it was approved, everything was above board. We followed CalPERS procedure and I came back. I complied at that point with government code section 21221H. I need to remember the H as opposed to the number because it plays into what ultimately happened with my time here. Hours that a retired annuitant work.
Here, give this one. Sorry, Anna. They want to shut you down.
Working no more. Let me try that again. Now, for a retired annuitant, all hours worked are reported to CalPERS. Not for additional service credit, but just to track hours. Retired annuitant is not allowed to be on 960 hours in a fiscal year. And so I was watching my hours as closely as possible. And we discovered that an error occurred in the reporting of hours for each period. It goes back to December of last year, and it's only discovered in early May, maybe something like that. And apparently hours for that 2-week pay period were reported as 325 and a half hours that I worked. I would say I put in hours, but I didn't put in that many hours. The actual hours that should have been reported for that time was 57. And so because of the confusion, I went over, or conceivably could have gone over the 960, which could have jeopardized my status as a retired annuitant. The error was subsequently corrected, and for that time that it was corrected, I had actually 760.5 hours worked in that fiscal year. For the reporting error, council decided to review my employment and so they went over the package, so I handled the report. We went back and requested information on procedures that were used for me to join in October. And he had to, the resolution again, it was to a different division of calibers. And that track numbers in the division. So my initial offer letter was sent to me, the approved resolution, the initial resolution was sent in. I wanted to know how the position was being recruited, what did we advertise, all things like that. All of that had already been done with that other division.
Oh, no,
Here we go. So what happened with all of that is I explained that we did fill the position of HR manager, that was with Sylvia Estrada, who is still here, thank you. And going nowhere right now. And she started in March 18th. In explaining the whole situation of my tenure up until May, it was discussed that shortly after, that Sylvia started, she was out for 3 weeks. CalPERS deemed that a leave of absence. And frankly, we challenged that, we lost. What's it in the tonight? And so this is a retroactive action. It has nothing to do with me being put on payroll. I was on payroll as of May 21st. CalPERS says you should have changed the status from what's deemed extra help after Sylvia was hired to interim HR manager because of a leave of absence. Real tight technicality. And so that's what this is tonight. So we recommend we the number 2024-53. Actively will be in compliance, working those 3 weeks under the labor code, changing it from H to D.
Any questions? Or Todd?
Oh, I mean. This, we're getting a new system.
That-
No, this is,
She has a question.
oh, go ahead.
Really quick question.
Oh,
You were paid correctly and you're not missing out on anything. We're just, it's a technicality. Got it. Okay, thank you.
only thing I would add is we worked with this initial employee from CalPERS and it was just. It was right, it was all good, and then all of a sudden this new guy came from another division and he's just doesn't know what he's doing, so we're just really kind of correcting the situation.
Okay, is there a motion to approve resolution 2024? And Mr. Costa and any discussion? A roll call, please.
Councilmember Costa Junior,
Aye.
Councilmember Rovas,
Aye.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilmember Fernez.
Aye.
Mayor Julian.
Aye, resolution passes. Thank you, and council. Item 11, change of primary representation and alternate member of Central Coast Water Authority, CTWA.
So tonight, I mean, this was one that was a board that doesn't, meet a lot, but they keep calling us wanting to know who our representatives are. At the April 11, 2023 city council meeting, Councilmember Megan Lizalde at the time was appointed to represent the CCWA board with the Director of Public Works as a staff person. Shannon Sweeney was the alternate. And since they really want us to put something on board through the end of this year, and then when we do appointments again for all the committees, we'll be, bringing this forward again. But just for the specific one, we're just asking if you can approve for a primary and an alternate for the CCWA board. And like I said, I mean, Shannon was a staff person that really understands water, and she was, the city agreed to that at the time. So just leaving it up to you if you want to decide somebody to be a primary and an alternate.
Now, this is a legal question. Phil, is there a requirement that an elected official has to be on the board?
No, obviously not, there's a requirement, they don't, but I mean, we have to have a staff member on if we don't have, we have to have somebody.
Right, no.
So it doesn't have to be an elected official, though. It's okay to have a staff member as the alternate like Shannon was.
As an alternate,
Yeah,
the primary.
yeah, well, the way I understood it, I wasn't prepared to answer this question, but the way I understood it
You
is.
gotta think on your feet.
Well, I'm doing. The alternate, if I remember my conversation with Shannon, the alternate can be, but when she was the alternate, she went all the time,
Okay,
and that was okay,
all right.
because she wasn't the primary,
We'll
but
put
yeah.
Gilbert on there then.
It's just through the end of this year, I don't.
All they need is a name. Okay, okay. And then Todd will go. So,
I don't mind being an alternate.
is there a motion to approve, Whitney as the primary and Todd as the second, as the alternate?
I'm voting to approve Whitney as the primary and Todd as the alternate for the CCW.
Okay, motion is second, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Alright,
Thank you. Todd?
You're welcome, yeah.
All right, future agenda item. Moving right on.
I don't
Any
have any.
announcements? Somebody gotta have something, I know that. Christina has all of them.
just perfect, article starts tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of traffic, there's a high area of, and the elementary school on Peralta. And 11, so hopefully we have some traffic control that we get out there.
We got some designated staff parking at City Hall.
Tickets out. Any, Villaging?
Yeah, maybe Chief can have some tow trucks if we need them.
Be a good business. Christina,
That's the third part.
Senior Advisory Committee's meeting next Tuesday at 1:30, and that's where we'll have the county, what's it called? That's not retirement, it's the senior master plan. Then so this Thursday, I have a PCAG meeting, an APCD meeting. By the way, APCD is working really tight with 151 Obispo. They're supposed to have, because they didn't get a permit from Air Pollution Control District. So they have to get a permit from the Air Pollution Control District. So now they're close, because they're working with their engineers and stuff, so they're close. And then I just mentioned the class reunion a couple weeks ago. There was a little more than 261 people there.
Wow.
I wanted to thank city staff, Parks and Recreation, Fire Department. They were very helpful in moving things around. We actually borrowed some chairs from the Veterans Building. And also had rent another 60 chairs. There's only no more 261. Then and that's the capacity. There's a couple more than that. But we had a good time. That's all I had. Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned the senior advisory, when is it and what time?
Tuesday, the 20th, 1:30 at the senior center.
Thank you.
Just briefly reminding, day of both is August 24th, 21st, and I believe they will have, in front of the post office and probably by the cemetery, just a reminder. They have hope, so get your dollars ready to support the regular.
At least a dollar. All right, adjournment to close.
Mr. Mayor, I do have an answer for you on that question you just asked.
Okay,
Oh,
The joint powers agreement provides that the member from the governing body, you guys have to appoint a primary and an alternate that need not be, but can be a member of the legislative body.
the alternate,
No, both.
okay.
So you do not have to, none of you have to go. You could maybe do Chief Cash or or Denise, or, well, I don't know if I can do it. I'm not, you're not. Maybe I can. I don't know who can't be,
I
but
think we solved that already.
yeah, I just wanted you to know that I did have an answer for you. I'm sorry I didn't know it off the top of my head. I'm trying.
Mayor, do you mind if I announce something?
Not at all.
I had a citizen who's also an Elks member in Santa Maria drop off a flyer. He just thought it'd be a good opportunity for the youth in Guadalupe if they would like to go to the Elks Soccer Shootout. It's on Saturday, August 24th, from 9 to 12 p.m. at the Elks Lodge in Santa Maria. And it's for ages 7 up to 13, boys and girls, and there's prize.
I know.
You know, and then you probably know this, Denise, is, Sayeth, what's his name?
I did.
He's a soccer guru. So,
I actually have been speaking with him and his brother, and they are getting me the information I need to bring soccer back.
perfect. Well, thanks for that. Thanks, Dale. No stake with that or the?
There is. It says that they're gonna be recognized at the dinner, so it sounds like the winners will be recognized at the dinner they're having that night. It's not a cook your own, but they'll always have delicious food.
One more thing, I know that chief on the 21st, is that the, public safety meeting there at the Elks?
Oh, yes, yeah, for the council or, yeah, I'll be there. I think it's the 21st.
Law
enforcement awards, yeah, law enforcement. Yes, not fire, law enforcement.
Police officer of the year
Yeah.
award.
Yeah.
You can actually go to those.
I know.
Be there, I think it starts at 5.
I get voluntold, I gotta go.
I think it starts at 5:30.
I haven't seen nothing more.
Okay.
Call us,
Everyone,
contact Juan if you want to get put on the list.
everybody.
Or do you want to, and I can call for you?
Does that entail?
Dinner?
Dinner awards.
Yeah,
Dinner?
Dinner and a movie. That's where, all the, law enforcement agencies nominate their personnel to be the officer of the year. Elks, will, present a plaque. And we have, dignitaries that are there and, each chief or sheriff will give a short presentation of their nominee person.
It's a
It's a very
blast.
good-
It's fun.
and it's
Huge.
free for attendees and it's
Yeah.
especially council people. So.
Yeah.
And they feed you, and some take a
Yeah.
doggy bag home.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Gil, I'm gonna go, so you don't have to sign nothing or all, no, but.
You just go and eat, yeah.
So if any of you are interested, I can contact them. You want to? Okay, something.
Okay, anything else? Before we go into closed session?
Oh, I thought I mentioned one more thing. I was just wondering if Denise got any feedback from the senior excursion. The
Thank you.
seniors going out on their little trips. Yeah, okay.
Bangor, the media's good at banging that thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We are gonna get this changed. We just have
Go
to
ahead,
get.
Denise, we can hear you.
I do not have feedback yet. I'm actually gonna try to meet with Isaiah tomorrow. I just got back in the office on Friday and I was kept prioritizing my list of what I was tackling first. So I will have feedback for you on the excursion. But I haven't heard anything negative, so,
It was good. They went to Pismo Beach.
okay.
Spent a couple hours.
Yeah, and then they went, did they get coffee like they said they were going to, or? or no,
Smooth actually provided transportation. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how many attended.
I don't know.
They did go. They're planning every month to do something else. Okay, is there more? Sorry. That's all right.
I don't know if any of you heard, or were involved, but at the Boys and Girls Club, they did their young CEO thing. Were you involved? I got a text from, an old coworker and she said, look what we did in your town. And it was just really nice. They usually do it in Santa Maria, but they brought it to the Boys and Girls Club here. So I was telling her that she should come back, next year. So that was it.
What was that about?
So they have, kids and I'm not sure the age, maybe 8 to 12.
Okay.
And they have a business idea and then they kind of set up their own little business
Wow.
and try to sell their product. And then they have people at the chamber at Santa Maria come and try to buy it. So I had heard about it when they do it at a they do it in they do it at the mall typically, but they didn't have that available, so they did it here. So I'm hoping next year.
Speaking of meetings. yesterday. At the Veterans Hall, there was a bunch of cars. Or was it today? Does anybody know? Like these were new cars, I mean, they weren't farmer cars,
I'm
but
not
they're
sure.
parked across the street near the central. Commercial. And then there's, veterans parking lot, but they were there almost all day. And I don't know, I don't think it was grand jury. They would normally be here, anyway, just a. When you see something like
Maybe the
that,
election. or
yeah,
How can they
polling?
get in?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I am assuming they were there, they might have gone to the social club.
Could have been.
Ah,
social
oh,
club.
okay.
So,
I'll inquire.
it's no big deal. We didn't get any letters yet, so
Okay.
is there a motion to adjourn the closed session?
I'm open to adjourn the closed session.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Okay.
Do you remember that meeting?
Which one? On yeah, at the Elks. Yeah, no, I go. Twenty-first, yeah. It's so much fun. They're really funny.
September.
Yeah.
Usually I'm supposed to be in it.
It should be a win.
But it's Leba. Leba.
Yeah, oh, you said the last name first, I have that.
Oh, we